Hey everybody, Mr. French here. Today I'm going to give you a brief walkthrough of what I want you to do in Classcraft this week. So here I am. I have created my account. I'm at a blank screen that just says New Class. And so I will click on that. For our purposes, we're just going to try Classic mode. You can try either one out if you want to after the assignment. But go ahead and click on Classic mode. This you kind of just need to get through this because really all I want you to do is get to the demo class. So just type in whatever for these. It honestly doesn't matter because it's not going to. It's really only useful if you're going to go back after the assignment and want to actually play around with some of this stuff. But for now, we are just going to kind of click through these. I highly encourage you to look through some of these things, especially if you haven't, if you're new to Classcraft, just because these settings and stuff, it will kind of tailor make everything to suit your classroom. So you say like which one is the most important to you, kind of just general default presets. Positive behavioral interventions and supports, PBIS or social emotional learning. I'll just say general, but if you click on these learn more, you can actually see how it's tailor making everything to suit that context. So super cool, but for our purposes, I'm not going to get into that just yet. Don't really worry about this. Don't see your school at it. We can just set that up later. This is saying what behaviors would you like to encourage. This is how you'd give students like experience in the class. Again, this so I just preset it to a first grade class, so it has all these as defaults. What behaviors you want it to discourage. So some of these things as defaults. You can also add these yourself later if you want to add new ones. So choosing students' powers. This is a huge part of the game, the Classcraft platform, but for now I'm just going to click through. It's definitely worth looking through yourself though. Sentences, so this is basically what happens whenever somebody dies or loses all of their health. It's kind of the things that you want them to, that students will want to avoid, that will kind of keep them doing what they're supposed to be doing. So anyway, add students to your class. I'm just going to click through player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4. Again, I'm just trying to get through so I can get to the demo class. I don't really want to do that. Start student intro. If you want to watch this video, it would be pretty useful just as an intro for yourself. But since I've already done that before, I'm just going to skip through so I can get to what I want to show you. Alright, so there's the pretend class. Essentially, how Classcraft is set up is that you have to make a class before you can actually do a demo class. So anyway, just make your sample class so that you can get to this screen. So here's my demo class. PBIS is the default. I'm going to click on that, and hey, it has some characters already pre-made for me. These are hypothetical students, and I can see what it looks like from their perspective as well. If I hit View as Student, I can see that this is what it looks like from their screen. So this student these are his powers. He can learn powers. As he gets these little experience hand looking things, it gives him things that he can use in class. So anyway, but I'm just showing you this to give you a general overview. As far as what I want you to do for the assignment, here's what you need to do. So go over here to quests on this left side of the screen. You can see that I've already added some just for my own, just testing out this process. But so this is like your just overall map. What I want you to do is, now that you're in this quest land, I want you to go up to here to Quests Marketplace. Click on that. And this will give you access to a lot of quests that people who teachers who already use Classcraft have made. And so you can go through and see featured quests. These are some of like the best ones from the month that people have made. So you can select one of those if you want to. Quest of the week, you can browse by subject. So I want you to take more time to do this whenever you're doing it on your own. But just for the sake of demonstration, I'm just going to import this, guys. So Quest of the Bard, whatever that means. Import. Give it a second. Okay. Quest of the Bard. Select a class. Demo class. Alright. Import this quest. Import every objective as regular tasks. That's fine. Okay, so it says only. This is a thing just for free accounts. Only quests with 6 or fewer objectives can be used on free accounts. This quest cannot be made visible. Don't worry about that because you don't need to worry about making it visible to students for the sake of this assignment. So one of the things that I'll have you do is just take a screenshot of the whole quest map. So you would just take a screenshot of like this screen. And then as far as the actual assignment goes, if you see this and you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to take forever, I don't want to go through and do all of these things, that's fine. You can select another quest if you want to, but if you would rather just go through like a handful of them and then go to the end, that's fine as well. I really just want you to get this experience like from a student's perspective. So if this was the quest that I had selected, I would go to the introduction and see, okay, here's the story of like what this the person that created this is it's kind of immersing the students in the setting of this quest. So you can read through that and see what that is. The first task is right here, a little exposure. It gives you another story. Overview just shows you what the experience and gold that students will gain from doing this objective. So here's the story. Here's the task. So this is actually what you would do if you were selecting this quest. Select a song and explain why you want to analyze that song. Song parameters must have a clean version, must have lyrics, must have a video or album artwork of some kind. Okay, so that's the task. Once you do that, you would move on to the next task. Post the clean lyrics of your song. So then you would, it gives you a story as well. So then you would go through and actually do that. You don't have to, since this is what it looks like from the teacher's perspective, you don't necessarily have to go through and like do this. Just know that this is what it would be like from the student perspective. The point of music, this is the next task. First impression of the song. What do you think of when you hear the sound of the song? How does it make you feel? And so these look like pretty short tasks, so if you wanted to do something like this, you totally could. But then just try to immerse yourself essentially in the perspective of a student, like actually going through this assignment. And then once you reach the grand finale, bingo, that's great. You're there, you did it. If you want to go back to the map, you can. Let me see. I'm trying to find the back to the map screen. You just go back to quests. And then your quest of the Bard is right there. There we go. So essentially this is what it looks like again on the map. So I was clicking you through those tasks, but whenever students are on this screen, they will see essentially this whole map is going to be like covered in darkness, and they can only see like what the next task is. So it really like they have to like master one thing before they get to the next thing. And what's also cool from a teacher's perspective, since I've done this with students, is like while students are on a quest, you can see where each student is at. So you can see kind of like pacing wise what like if students are which students are further than others, and which students might need some help. So really cool from that perspective. But and then here is your grand finale. Typically, like as students completed this last task, it would give them a lot of XP, a lot of gold, and essentially what that would allow them to do is if I can take you back to the character screen, what that would allow students to do is then they can upgrade their characters, which they really like to do, just from my experience with using this with students, especially younger grades. I think high schoolers, it's definitely used in high school classrooms as well, and I've used it in the college classroom as well. But anyway, students can learn powers, they can customize their characters, they even have pets, which is kind of interesting and funny. So like he could upgrade his shield or stuff like that. So anyway, but that is just a general overview of what I want you to do for this assignment this week. Feel free to send me a message with any questions you have, or if you're running into any issues. I hope you guys have fun.